What is up, everyone? This is SwordKing090 and this could be a brand new video for you today. And yes, I have a little bit of a deeper tone right now because I'm starting to get a sore throat. So going a higher tone is just not going to be really well for me because I will not be able to actually keep that up for long. Just letting you guys know. Maybe I have sound better right now, but who knows? That you guys will tell me ultimately in the comment section below, as you have a lot of times. So today's topic is about my time at jury duty. So it's not that boring because for the fact of the matter is that it's actually pretty interesting to see what goes on in your own hometown. So how I got jury duty, that at the college campus there was gonna be a voting little thing that was going on. This was during the voting season, and one person pulled me over and was like, hey, you want to vote? It's like, well, I don't think I want to. It's like, whoa, are you Republican, Democrat? It's like, well, I'm the type of person that I will actually agree to the things that I agree on. It's like, well, you're independent then. It's like, well, I guess. So I was like, well, you could actually apply as an independent. Then you could actually choose whatever you want to actually go with. If this is a bill that you like, you could vote for it. If it's not one that you like, then you don't have to vote for it. I'm like, okay. I was just being polite to the guy so that he could just leave me alone, and if anyone else pulls me over, it was like, okay, I've already registered to vote, so you don't need to worry about me. So I was like, oh heck, here's the information. Okay, now you're registered to vote. I got a little bit of a card. It's like, oh, isn't this sweet? I got myself a card. I still have it to this day too. But in any case, so what happened is that later on in the months, I get a mail asking me to go to jury duty. Yeah, fun! I'll be able to actually go to jury duty twice a week at 8 in the morning. How fun was that gonna be? I went with it because by law you're gonna have to anyways, and I thought I was not gonna get picked. But lucky for me, I was the second person being picked at the courthouse. And of course they did their questionnaire asking people if they're able to actually be like non-biased, or what's the word for it? I cannot remember. Oh my god, it's been a long time ago. It's been like over a year. Yes, that's a very long time over the internet. But it has happened. I cannot remember the exact thing that they said. Is like, can you actually be the jury without any problems with any of the cases or things like that? Saying like, if you're a part of like if it's against your religion to do this, or if you are a member of the, like if you have a family member or you know a person in the like law officials and all that stuff, that this is not going to cloud your judgment whatsoever. They ask those type of questions. And why isn't my left bumper working? Come on now. Come on now. Okay, there we go. I think it's broken. Okay, it's working. Okay. Yep, it's slightly broken. Come on now. Why are you doing this? Oh my god. It didn't do this before and now it's doing this. God dang it. I'm gonna have to buy a brand new controller. Ah well, moving on from here. That they did the questionnaires, and of course I answered every single one of these questions, and I'm still selected as a jury member. Second, like the number 2 person's like, okay. And then of course I got their team of 16. One person, however, he was making like so many excuses. The judge is like, okay, you could just go. He knows for a fact, he's been doing it for a long time. He knows the great lengths that people would actually go to actually avoid being a jury member. And this person just kept making an excuse after an excuse after an excuse, and people were like, get on with it. Just say that you don't want to be here. You don't need all these excuses. But in any case, we got the team of 16, and I gotta say, these guys were actually pretty chill. Really, they are. You can have a conversation with them. They would talk to each other and things like that. So being a jury member is not that bad, just as long as we don't actually have to appear in the courthouse. This was the thing, that there are different teams or different divisions of jury members. What we have to go through is that we do the indictments, meaning that we get to say yes or no to the charges on the person, saying whether or not it's legitimate based on the evidence that we are given. So if we say that there needs to be more evidence for that indictment or for that charge, then they will gather more evidence, and then it's going to be delayed to where they're going to bring this up in the next hearing, and then we'll get to hear about this, see if they brought any more evidence. If there's not enough evidence to actually say that this charge is actually legitimate, then we could say no to it, and then that charge will not be brought up in court. So we could actually add indictments due to the evidence. Like, we've added more indictments for child endangerment because of all the different stories or different evidence that has been brought up, but this wasn't in the charge at the time. So if we think that there's like a child endangerment little indictment that we could place upon the person, we are able to do that. And we've done a lot of different indictments as well. We've added, we subtracted, and things like that. But that's one thing. And another thing is that we've actually had a little bit of a case that lasted over 2 hours. 2 hours. We had to read all the different charges. There were like about a good 40 charges, and we had added 8 more charges to that. So it took a while. It honestly took a while for that to actually be done and over with. And that's the thing. We do not handle the actual judgment on whether or not the person is guilty or non-guilty. We only do the indictments. That's our division. So I was just wondering, like, hey, what about the other people? Like the other division that actually had to sit down, listen to the case by case, listen to the testimonies and everything like that. I wanted to know how long that actually took them to do all of that, especially with that 2 hour reading that we actually had to do. We had to wait 2 hours, we had to have a lunch break, we had to come back, we had to do finishing up all that stuff. But that was the deal. It usually happens between 8 a.m. and the latest we've ever gotten out was 4:30. The earliest we've ever gotten out was around 11:30. So it could last a good 6 hours if things don't actually like go right. So they actually had to read all the indictments, they had to read all of the statutes and all that stuff, so we get to know about the law and what they think about it. So that's actually pretty interesting to know, like, this is what happens if you were to break that law, and this is what people actually have to go through. It's really interesting to know if you're actually going to go to the field of being an attorney or being like anything else that has to do with the courthouse. This is exactly what the process is at, and we were part of that process, so it was pretty cool. And one of the other things I was just honestly, you would be quite surprised at what goes on around your town. Like you'll listen to all the different cases that go on, and some of the cases is just near close to home. We've actually had a few jury members step out due to the fact that they know the person in relation. So that is one of the things. It's a small world that if you know someone that's part of the case, or if you know someone that like it's a victim to it, then you have every right to step out so that you don't have to make a biased judgment. So that is one of the other things. I never actually had to step out. I've seen other people have to step out, and that was the case. We were able to actually continue on just as long as we actually have a good 12 jury members actually active, then it's fine. We were able to make a all-in-one vote. Of course, that is that at times that we actually had a 15-1 or 15-2. It's fine, just as long as, or sorry, 14-2. Yeah, it has to be a total of 16. Just as long as we're able to actually get the majority votes of saying yes to indictments, that's what we go through, and then we don't have to worry about anything else because that's going to be for the other division to make the final decision. So that is what it is. Even if we added some indictments and they actually go along with the court case with those added indictments, and if it doesn't fall through, it's just pretty much at this point it's not really much of our concern. We just did our job and they finished up with the evidence and presented in that court case. So one of the other things that I actually did was that at the end of it all, like, I wanted to make us a surprise party. So what I did is that I called up the local pizzeria place or pizza place, whatever you want to call it at this point. I don't know what the little modern term for it is, but I called our local pizza place and I ordered about 5 pizzas. Yeah, 5 pizzas early in the morning before they even open. I asked them if this was alright. It's like, yeah, it's alright. Just make sure you popped up and showed up. And then that's what I did. Funny thing was is that they actually accidentally burned some of the pizza, so they actually made fresh ones for me. Really appreciate it. Really good business, people. Really good business. And then I bought the 3 cases of sodas. And the bad part was is that the courthouse is always jam-packed. I did not let anybody know about this, and if I had, I should have. But I didn't because I'm an idiot. So yeah, that was the thing. Anyways, so if I had done that, that's the only regret. Then that's the only regret I had, because what happened was, well, I was carrying five of the boxes of pizzas and 3 cases of the sodas, and yeah, I had to walk about a good, I would have to say probably 500 feet. That's what I'm guesstimating. I'm never good with the whole metric system, but it was quite a walk. It was pretty much a good, let's say, a 3-minute walk to get to where you needed to be. So I actually had to carry all of that, and pretty much almost halfway through, I accidentally dropped the pizzas. I dropped the dang pizzas. Luckily, none of it actually hit the floor. Like, none of it actually fallen onto the concrete floor or anything. But the fact of the matter is that now it's a lot of the slices were squished. They were squished. I tried my best, people. I tried my best. But in any case, I picked it up, I persevered, and that was when, like, after I climbed up a few of the steps, that's when I found the other jury member was right there and asked me if I wanted some help, and they came over and helped me out that one. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Sadly enough, like I said, some of the pizzas were actually squished, but the people at the jury duty or at the area, they appreciated the gesture. They had some slices, they had some sodas. I had a lot of leftover pizza because I overcalculated, like I usually do. I overcalculate a lot of things, but at the same time, it helps me be prepared. Like, hey, if I have enough, then I have enough. If I don't have enough, then that makes me think like I should have had more. But I had a lot of pizzas left over. I had like 3 boxes, and then I looked at one of the boxes to see which one was the least damaged, and I gave it to the security guards, and the security guards were thankful that I gave them food. Because you gotta be there throughout the whole time, like the whole, like, what's the word for it? Like, for your whole shift, you have to stay out there. I don't think they have a lunch break every now and then, but still, it was a thought that counts. So that was the ending party. At least I'll be able to remember me by, like, hey, this guy they actually brought pizza to the whole thing. It was fun. Honestly, it was fun. I got the little payment, because all the jury members, they are paid by the day. They're not paid by the hour. They're paid by the day. And especially they actually compensate for the mileage of gas, the gas mileage that it takes to get to the place anyways. So it was pretty good. I think I had like maybe up to $300 at that point. That's long been spent anyways. But that's what happened. Jury duty is actually pretty interesting. If you actually want to be in the field of criminal justice, then jury duty is a good place to start because it helps you gain knowledge of the statutes within your own city limits, and you get to hear these stories of what people done in your own city, and it makes you think like, hey, this place that I live isn't quite as peaceful as I thought it would be. It's quite interesting to know that even your neighboring cities actually go to this one courthouse to get all of the indictments and all of the whole case hearings done. So that's really all I gotta say. So let me know in the comment section below if you actually been to jury duty, and tell me, how was it? What division were you? Were you doing the indictments or were you doing the actual case hearings? Let me know in the comment section below. And if you haven't actually been in jury duty and if you've been summoned up for jury duty, then I could possibly say, like, go for it. Because honestly, if you actually work, it'll actually give you a legitimate reason to actually have that time off, especially if it's happening in the morning, because by law you're gonna have to go to it, and by law the actual company that you work with has to abide by it. So if you want some free time, then that's a place to go. It kind of depends on how you or where you work at. Like, I work at a fast food restaurant, it could easily be manageable, but if it's like an important business type, then you probably have a legitimate excuse not to actually go, especially if you're the type of person that travels everywhere, then jury duty you cannot do. But that is it. So if you guys have any questions, concerns, topics, or discussions that you would like for me to answer in a video, feel free to leave them down in the comment section below, or my Twitter or Facebook page, which will be linked in the description below. If I could even talk right. Well then. So, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like. If you're brand new to the channel, please subscribe because I upload videos every single day except for Sundays because that's going to be my day of rest. So, if anything else, that jury duty, pretty fun. I get to meet interesting people, I get to know about the law, and I could use that as an experience if I were to apply to somewhere. It's like, hey, I'm dedicated. I showed up every single day to the jury duty. No excuses, no late days, and all that good jazz. Well, have a great day, everyone. I'm AnsellDesign, and as always, I will see you in the next